Well, in the last part, I promised that we would use the balloon. And I'm not going to lie, we are going to use the balloon, but there's one more thing we can tackle in this world first before we move on. The Mushroom Speedway. Now you need 20 eggs, I believe it is, to get in here, and this is a speedway level. It's not an official level, and there's not the same volume of stuff in here. Well, except for the gems. I think there's 400 gems in here still, but there's not the same volume of eggs. There's only 3 eggs in here, but yes, there are eggs in here. So if you 100% these, well, it's kind of required that you do this. But anyway, as Sparks yells at us in Sparks' voice, we get the option to do one of 2 things, which is, well, actually one of 3 things. We get the option to do time attack, race the butterflies, or exit. The last one is self-explanatory. Time attack is, well, you've got 4 obstacles, 8 each, and as you can see, we just did all 8 of the rings. Next is going to be all 8 of these weeds. You just kind of try to tackle them and get them all done. You have to do this in one time, and as you can tell, they all have gems, and every time you kill one of them, you get the gems that are associated with that object. And for you to unlock the dragon egg at the end, well, it's pretty simple. You just need to kind of attack all 32 objects. It's not that difficult, especially not this first one here. It's not that difficult at all, but as you can tell, we are nearly done with the spiders, and we are going to move on to our last obstacle, which is these butterflies. I mean, if you've done Spyro 1 before, or 2, or even 3 before, you know that kind of how these work. It's no real surprise. Also, you have a time limit, by the way. As you can tell, that timer is ticking down. It starts ticking up once you've completed it for the first time. Now, if we go try it again, which we will do in a little bit, and I'll show it off, the timer will start ticking up, so you can take as much time as you want if you actually just want to go fly around and kind of explore the level. Because there is some benefits to doing that. What benefits? Well, we'll see it in a little bit. But that's not bad. Not bad. We got an egg here, and it's only a few minutes into this episode. So this is Sabina. No jokes here from me. We're going to move on. And we're going to race the butterflies, the second of the 2 challenges. Now, the race the butterflies is also fairly self-explanatory. You have to come in first. 5 butterflies, you're 6th. Of course, you start up behind them. And these challenges aren't too bad. But the main thing you have to do is just go through all of these little stars here because they give you little boosts. If you hit all of them, you're basically guaranteed to get into first place. By the way, don't try to charge into the butterflies like I just did. And by the way, if you ever try to run during one of these speedway sections, it's not necessary or really at all plausible to do in here. But if you ever try to charge in these speedways, you actually get a supercharge. You can flame the butterflies though. And in future ones, you'll actually have rocket power-ups, which you can use. And that actually slows them down a little bit. It does not take them out of the race or anything. You have 3 laps to do this, by the way. We just entered our 2nd. And we are in 3rd, so there are only 2 butterflies in front of us, which is not a bad place to be in. And the butterflies can obviously use some of the powers, too. There's no rockets on this level, so we don't have to worry about that. And I don't think even in the future levels that the things we're racing, because it's not always going to be butterflies, can use any of the power-ups either. But the butterflies can and will use the speed-up stars. But they will not all use... or they will not use every one. I think there's at least one butterfly that will go through every one. So you can watch your opponents if you're having trouble finding them, or you can just watch the video tutorial. And also, they're not that hard to find. That one behind the mushroom is just about the hardest one in this level. It gets a little bit more complicated later in the game, because there's one for every homeworld. But as you can see here, there's our leading contender right here, and we must go catch up with him and win this race for us. No other reason but for us. Also, yes, you can flame the butterflies that are going on the cross section there if you so desire. If you want to be mean to butterflies, you can totally do that. Go right ahead. But there's no real point to do that. We have entered it first. We're going to tackle one more boost star just to make sure we stay in first place. And we've got only 2 more rings. And by the way, you have to go through every ring. You can't miss any rings. We won first place and got ourselves our 2nd egg. So I hope you're ready for this, because now we've got to do one thing. Because I mentioned that there were 3 eggs in here, right? Well, we've gotten 2 of them, but exiting doesn't give us an egg. Now, does it? Does it? No, it doesn't. I'm not going to try to convince you to push the exit button, though that would be a funny thing for you to do. Then wonder where it is, and the thing that you have to do is, as I mentioned, you have to go back into the time attack, and as you will see in the top corner, our counter is indeed counting up. Go around the level like this right here, and you will find our good old friend Hunter.
Whoa! A bunch of sheep and flying saucers just came out of nowhere and started blasting up the race course.
Spyro logic.
Looks like I'll have to hop in my plane and teach him some manners. Look out, sheep. Here I come.
Spyro logic. That's all I can say. Like, it's just this game. But yeah, so welcome to this. Welcome to I need to turn the fucking volume down. Good lord. I really hope you can't hear that out of my headphones. That is painful. But yes, we have 7 sheep and UFOs, which is not a sentence that I ever would have normally thought I would say, but this game exists. Yeah, and our main thing right here is that we just need to kill all of them. And, yeah, they can fire shit at us, and, well, we only have 1 hit point. We can take out the various obstacles around the thing. I don't know how we didn't get damaged by that or by running into the thing. But we're fine. We're still continuing on, I guess. This level's interesting. But, yeah, that is loud. There's nothing to stop you from continuously firing. There's no, like, gun limits, how many times you can fire the gun. There's no limits to how much fuel you have for using in boost. Just hold down your buttons and go to town. And turn down your volume before you do this, because I forgot to do that beforehand, and now my ears are slightly irritated. Just slightly. I managed to take out a sheep there without even realizing it, and there is only 1 more left, and all we have to do is go find that one and take back whatever it is they said he stole. Oh, right, a dragon egg. You know, our like main collectible. Other than the fact that we can get rich by stealing gems that don't belong to us. Actually, are the reason we're collecting gems ever explained?
Check it.
I guess I'm going to pay money bags. They're not useful for anything else. Anyway, we have Tater. You are not a pancake. You are not potatoes. You are an egg. Anyway, that's it for the Speedway. But as you will probably notice by the fact that this video is still half over, I want to say, we're not done yet. We've got all 400 gems there. We're up to 1891, which is a pretty good amount, and I think the most you can have up until you go fight the, well, damn. There's a boss in this game? I never would have guessed. Yes, there is a boss. We're going to go fight a boss, which is why we don't want to just go to Midday Gardens just yet. And I paused right here for thought, I guess. I guess just to check and make sure that I was good. Yes, and there's the spoiler, Buzz's Dungeon. So the game does it for me, and I didn't even have to do it. But yeah, so we are going to go to Buzz's Dungeon, because even though they say we're going to Midday Gardens,
the balloon's all ready, sir. Just jump on.
we're not going to go to Midday Gardens. Not yet. We'll be there in a little bit. But we have to go tackle a boss first, because, well, I don't know. They never really explained this. Well, I mean, they explain why the boss is there in this cutscene, but, they never really explained why we're forced to land there. Just Spyro logic, I guess. But, I mean, I guess the logic is just that they have an egg. The boss has an egg that we need to get, because there is an egg for defeating the boss. As you just saw, if you looked carefully, the eagle-eyed viewers in the guidebook would probably know. But yeah, we're gonna use some magic and get some Spyro logic in here to help us create a monster. I'm just gonna let this one sink in for a minute, because well, it's kind of interesting, I guess.
Okay, let's see what we got here. This ought to do it. You, come here.
Good enough. Welcome to Spyro, everybody. Welcome to Buzz's Dungeon. Buzz is actually a pretty simple boss, unless you have really odd things happen to you like I did. I don't know that I would have really normally kept this in, but it's so odd, and I've never had this happen to me before, so I had to leave it in, because there's no way I could have done this. Now, normally what you have to do is you have to just back him slowly but surely off, and I have this tried and true and just kind of nailed down because I've done this for so many years. But yeah, and then you just wait on the other end, because obviously the closer you stay to the outside ring, the closer it is to easier just to kind of get him out when you do it again. He will charge at you after a while too, and he can obviously knock you out. So it's really just a game of who can knock each other out the fastest, but he does not directly take damage from that. And as you can see, Sheila is here to help. We have done him now, I believe it's 6 hits. Not Nintendo standard, but, well, this isn't a Nintendo game, so I wouldn't expect it to be. As you can see, once we get into the 2 hits, we manage to actually, he brings up fire around him. And also I managed to, you're not supposed to be able to do that, I don't think, but I hit him, like, I guess on the last frame the fire happened. Yeah, that was what I was talking about, is that Sheila actually crashed into us, and I really didn't have a way to recover very easily, and I wound up taking 2 hits. And it winds up because I'm like, at this point I'm disoriented. Sheila winds up getting in the way, and it winds up happening again. And I run into Sheila yet again. Now we're on 3rd phase right here. Walls come down, but he can spit fire. 1 hit left for both of us, and well, who's gonna win? Well, you're on the edge of your seat, guys. It's a tense battle over here. Thank you to the weird things, and I could see it happening again, and I tried to jump, and that was a mistake, because I saw Sheila right there. And I wound up dying, because if you jump, you're basically squished. Don't jump, guys. Also, you can sit, like, if you die, you can sit on that screen for a very long time. He won't actually move until you move, which is kind of a weird thing. I don't remember. I wanted to say that I don't think the other bosses do that, but I also don't remember, like, any of the other bosses. So when we go to fight those other bosses, it's going to be a new experience for me, as well as you guys, if you've never seen this game before, at least. I flat out don't remember the later half of this game very well. So I deliberately had to stay away from the ring just to keep myself away from Sheila. Oh yeah, this part. I got butted off the cliff here, and I was actually not able to make it back without taking a hit. Well, luckily for us, he backed away and gave us some room to run back. So we were able just to kind of get Bud's back for that hit, and Sheila was able to do some damage to him. Yeah, and I decided to start over there just to kind of give Sheila some room before we wound up running to her, so now she's on the other side. And as you can see, he's back with the fire shield. But, well, again, if Spyro were immune to fire because he's a dragon, it would make this much easier, but he's not. So with that hit, we're moving halfway down once again. And he's going to do his roller thing. But yeah, that's the thing. So you just kind of want to stand across the thing, let him wear out some of his roller timer until he gets close to you, and then, well, let him have it. Just start charging at him again. And luckily on this phase it's easier because he just laughs, so you can just stand outside of the fire ring until, well, you're ready to go attack him. That is 4 hits down, I believe, and we are on to phase 3. Phase 3, everybody. Can we do it this time? We only have like 2 spare hits. I really hope so. Yes, now we are. I think you can actually hit him if you're really good and careful during the phases where he's shooting fire, because he doesn't actually have a fire wall around him. And at that point, I think he's fair game to hit. I'm not 100% certain on that. 100% certain on that. You can try it if you want to. He's like clipping through me. I'm surprised he did not get me sooner, but as you can tell, he moved very closely to the edge there. We get locked in position as Sheila goes in for the final hit and ground pounds him, and he dies and sinks into the lava, and we get an egg from nowhere. Whatever. Hi, Grayson, who ironically has a rainbow. Anyway, with this out of the way, we finally get to move on and go to Midday Gardens, our next fairly peaceful homeworld. And I hope you're ready for it.